So I'm imagining you're about to come in just a moment, right?
Yep, I'm right above you.
Really? It's actually a little nerve-wracking. Oh, there you are. Oh, here he comes, and... there we go. Oh.
Well,
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Recreating the Disasters. Today, we're focusing on the Bismarck. So yeah guys, let's get into the video. Now, as always, Jlkillen, do you want to give us a bit of background to the Bismarck before we get going?
yeah, so the Bismarck was the first of two Bismarck-class battleships built for Nazi Germany. The ship was laid down at the Blom and Voss shipyard in Hamburg in July of 1936 and was launched in February of 1939. Work was completed in August of 1940 when she was commissioned into the German fleet. The Bismarck and her sister ship, Tirpitz, were the largest battleships ever built by Germany and two of the largest built by any European power. On May 21st, 1941, the Bismarck, Prince Eugen, and three escorting destroyers left Bergen at 7:30 p.m., which brings us up to where we are now.
Alright, so thank you, Jlkillen, and I should mention that time is really not on our side right now. As you can see, it is almost 4 in the morning, and it is not 7 p.m., but we're just gonna get going anyways. So, yeah, it's very apparent throughout the last couple of episodes that we've made that time isn't really on our side. But we'll push ahead anyways, so let's go. Now, Jlkillen, wouldn't you agree that the Bismarck is one of the most menacing battleships probably ever to exist?
Yeah, I mean, just with the amount of guns on board and just how beefy it looks, it basically was the most intimidating looking ship of that era, probably.
So yeah, what we're doing right now is we're actually sailing over Iceland towards Greenland. And then, before we actually get to Greenland, we're going to turn and go south. And that is where we're going to meet the Hood. And, well, we're going to sink the Hood. And we did do a video on that in the top right corner. You can go check that out. But for now, we're making our way towards, well, we're pretending that it's Greenland. In reality, it's Halifax. Now, what's so interesting about this story is that the Bismarck was basically brand new. It was not an old ship. And it was completely destroyed, as we all know. And we'll be getting into that shortly, but for now, we're slowly making our way towards where we're going to be meeting the Hood and sinking the Hood. Alright, so Jlkillen, now the Bismarck actually saw the Hood prior to the battle, right?
Yeah, so on May 24th, German lookouts spotted smoke on the horizon, which turned out to be from the Hood and the Prince of Wales.
So yeah, the Bismarck knew they were around, just didn't know exactly where they were until the final battle of the Hood. So, we'll be getting to that in just a second. Now, as we're nearing the location as to where the Hood is, I'm going to turn off my lights. So, we're a little more, well, should I say, stealthy, because we don't want to have our lights on. That's sort of a dead giveaway of where we are.
Eventually, the Prince Eugen detected the Hood and the Prince of Wales using its hydrophones. The Hood was then fatally shot several times by both ships, leading to a catastrophic explosion that sunk the Hood very quickly.
And that's what we're going to be doing right now. As you can see, I just fired some shells at him, and it did actually hit. So we're going to fire again. And I'm not sure. We have to wait for the cooldown to go away. But obviously, in reality, we'd be back and forth battling each other. But, of course, the cooldown sort of prevents that from happening. So right now, our battle is happening. You can see we've got some explosions on the deck of the Hood there. And you can see he's actually now caught fire. And I believe he's going down. Oh, we just took some damage there. Let's go ahead and pump out the water. And there we go. So, are you actually going down? Are you sinking?
I think...
oh, yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so we're about to see a massive explosion. There it is. And the Hood has gone down. So, that's where our video on the Hood left off. And now, we're starting the Bismarck's part of the story right now.
After the attack on the Hood, the Bismarck tries to flee to land occupied by Nazi Germany. The ship is then intercepted by several other vessels. A group of 8 Swordfish aircraft equipped with torpedoes came in to attack the Bismarck for sinking the Hood.
And I believe that's what you're about to do right now.
Yep, I should be arriving momentarily.
Oh, I see you now. There he goes. He just dropped the torpedo, and he's gone. So, Jlkillen, what happened with that?
Yeah, so one of the torpedoes ended up hitting the ship, causing some damage.
Now, was this damage, like, fatal, or was it sort of something that they could recover from?
Yeah, it was just a bit of minor damage. Nothing too significant. It basically was something that they could recover from.
So yeah, after that, the ship was very aware that there were other ships watching it. So what did it do?
Yeah, so the Bismarck made some looping maneuvers and was able to lose the convoy.
So yeah, what they did was pretty interesting. They just made a loop, and then they were able to get behind the ships following it, and now they had no idea where the Bismarck was, and they would actually send out some aircraft to look for the Bismarck as a result. Now, of course, it wasn't that easy. Eventually, the aircraft that were sent out to find the Bismarck did end up finding it, and that was game over because now they had an accurate position of where the Bismarck was, and every available ship started making their way for the Bismarck. And there was actually a group of ships that were perfectly in position to block the Bismarck off from getting to land. So for the Bismarck, it is really not looking good.
Yeah, they sent another group of Swordfish aircraft for a second barrage of torpedo attacks. This time, they were successful in disabling the Bismarck.
So I'm imagining you're about to come in just a moment, right?
Yep, I'm right above you.
Really? It's actually a little nerve-wracking. Oh, there you are. Oh, here he comes, and there we go. Oh.
Well, I keep hitting an invisible thing. I'm not sure what it is.
I think that was the mast. I'm not sure. It was just a big ball of fire, but in reality, a torpedo was dropped, and it did hit the stern of the ship. Do you want to talk about what that caused, basically, what the damage was as a result of that?
Yeah, the impact jammed the rudder gear, only allowing the Bismarck to take port or left turns.
So yeah, at this point, the Bismarck was not fatally wounded, but it was disabled, and it couldn't do much other than spin around. So, Jlkillen, what happened after this? I mean, now that the ship is really only spinning in circles, it should be a pretty easy target for all of these other ships to come in and attack it, right?
Yeah, so surrounding ships came in and attacked the Bismarck. Eventually, the damage is severe enough to cause the ship to stop firing its guns.
Now, I should mention that this is not the livery that the ship was in when it went down. It was actually this one. And what's interesting about it is what I believe to be his camo is very minimalistic. It's not like what you would see on, for example, the Olympic or other ocean liners that were converted. Obviously, Olympic was World War I, not World War II, but many ships in World War II did use camo as well. And this type of camo or dazzle is very interesting because it's only 3 large stripes of white and black. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't go for more. And if you guys have an answer for that, that would be awesome to hear because I actually don't know much about the Bismarck at all. So it would be good to actually know that. And yeah, there is Jlkillen trying to destroy us. And well, I mean, in reality, all of the other ships would be absolutely destroying the Bismarck right now because it could fight back, but it really couldn't maneuver. So we're taking hits from other ships, and it is just not looking good. And as Jlkillen said, eventually the damage just became so heavy that the ship just stopped fighting back because there was so much of it destroyed. Now, I'm going to represent that as the ship stopping here, so I'm just going to stop the ship. And Jlkillen, what happened next?
Yeah, so the German crews on board planned to detonate scuttling charges and to open the sea chests in abandoned ship.
So yeah, that's really interesting, but they never actually got to do that, right?
Yeah, before they could, 3 torpedoes were launched by one of the nearby vessels, and it impacted, delivering the killing blow.
So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we are going to sink the ship, so we'll imagine that those torpedoes hit the side of the ship, and we may see it here in a minute, and wow, we are completely on fire. And yep, there we go. As you can see, it's representing all of the barrages of shells and the damage occurring to the ship there, so we're about to go down in just a moment, and there you are over there, still firing at us. She's now beginning to roll over to the port side. Now she is capsized completely. That happened very quick, and she's gonna go down by the stern. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I do see lifeboats around. I don't think there was enough time to even get the boats off, if there were any boats left after it was utterly destroyed. But now the ship is going down by the stern. It's a little hard to see, but here we go, and we should be hitting bottom in just a moment, and there we go. So, yes, awesome. We did just roll upright. I was a little bit worried we were gonna lay upside down or, well, lay on our side or something like that. But that's really cool. The guns came off and everything, so that's really realistic because in real life, the guns are not there. They actually just fell out when the ship rolled upside down. So yeah, there is the Bismarck on the bottom. Now, the loss of life was very significant on this, right?
Yeah, so out of a crew of over 2,200 men, only 114 men survived.
So yeah, the loss of life on the Bismarck was immense, and the ship was actually eventually discovered by Robert Ballard, the same person that found the Titanic. So that is really interesting. So yeah, there we go. That is it. That is the sinking of the Bismarck. If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.